let me record this session. So today what I have for you? Today I have for you a very beautiful poem that is My Last Duchess. I will divide my lecture into two parts. First I will go with the central idea of the poem. Yeah, you can say critical appreciation, and that content I have taken from Spark Notes. Spark Notes से लिया गया है, that is available online, and I have taken that content only to explain you how you can understand the poem. After telling you about the poem, especially its you can say theme, subject matter, or critical appreciation, I will discuss with you about the form of the poem. I will go some other literary devices which have been used in the poem. But before taking that poem, I would like to tell you again, this poem has been written by Robert Browning, a well-known poet of Victorian age. Robert Browning is known as king of dramatic monologue. Robert Browning को क्या कहा जाता है? King of dramatic monologue कहा जाता है. And Robert Browning was an optimistic poet. And here in this poem, he tells about a duke who is sinister, haughty, stubborn, and narrow-minded, who gives command to kill his wife. So you find that his wife, that has been addressed as my last duchess, that was generous, that was kind-hearted, that was, you can say, liberal lady. But Duke has a doubt about her character because Duke was a narrow-minded people, and after murdering Duke, you will come to know Duke has taken the portrait of that lady and has put it in her art gallery, and a messenger of the neighboring country come with the proposal of the marriage. Then he uh, presents that portrait before the messenger and talks about that lady. So we come to know about the nature of the duke, we come to know about his psyche because it's a dramatic monologue, and the poem is written in heroic couplet, run on heroic couplet. This is another important question which has been asked. So there are some important points, there are some important questions which has been asked. पहला कि it's a dramatic monologue. दूसरा, in it the poet tells about a haughty, sinister, stubborn duke, and next you will come to know that duke is narrow-minded. That duke has murdered his first wife, that has been addressed as my last duchess. But he has what he is just negotiating with an emissary. That emissary EMISSARY, and he talks about his marriage. Means he is ready for what? He is ready for the second marriage because he got the proposal for the neighboring country. So what I want to tell you ki in a dramatic monologue you come to know about the psyche, you come to know about the nature of the character, what is he, what does he think, and you will come to know ki that Duke is a 16th century Duke, Duke of Ferrara, Alfonso. And second important point, when I talk about the Duke, yeah, when I talk about some other characters, not only in this poem, but even all the poems composed by Robert Browning, you find that they all have been written in dramatic monologue form. So, dramatic monologue was made popular by this man, and he was an optimistic poet, and as he has been addressed as king of dramatic monologue. So, yeah, yeah. कोई कुछ कह रहा है?
नो सर, गुड आफ्टरनून बोल रहे थे सर.
Yeah, good afternoon. Okay, okay, okay. Just sharing with you the image. And in that image, already I told you that image I have taken from Spark Notes that is available online. Only to discuss with you, that image is here. Here you find what? Here you find about that poem. Especially, I will first explain the content. What do you find? What is the summary of the poem? Here I will tell you some important questions you have to note down. दिस पोयम इज लूजली बेस्ड ऑन हिस्टोरिकल इवेंट। सबसे पहला तो यह पोयम जो है किस पर आधारित है? हिस्टोरिकल इवेंट्स पर आधारित है। मीन्स दिस इवेंट यू फाइंड इन द पेजेस ऑफ द history. You find this event in the pages of the history. So this poem is loosely based on historical events. And what historical events? अल्फांसो द ड्यूक ऑफ फेरारा। एक तो यही क्वेश्चन बनेगा कि वो जो ड्यूक है कहाँ का ड्यूक है? दैट ड्यूक इज अल्फांसो द ड्यूक ऑफ फेरारा। FERRAR, Alfonso the Duke of Ferrara, who lived in the 16th century. It means that in the poem, you come to know about a duke. That duke is who? That duke is Alfonso. What was the name of his duke? The name of that duke was Alfonso. कहाँ का duke है? The Duke of Ferrara. किस सेंचुरी से बिलोंग करते हैं? 16th सेंचुरी से बिलोंग करते हैं। The Duke is the speaker of the poem. This is another question. Who is the speaker of the poem? The Duke is the speaker of the poem. Poet is not. It means that the third person is the speaker of the poem. It means that the poem is written in dramatic monologue form. And already I told you dramatic monologue is an objective form of poetry. It has one speaker who speaks throughout the poem. So you find what? You find Duke is the speaker of the poem and tells us he is entertaining an emissary. An emissary, EMISSARY. Who is emissary? A person who has sent somewhere with a particular objective to negotiate on a particular topic. एक ऐसा आप कह सकते हैं दूत जिसे कहते हैं। जैसे पहले राजाओं के दूत दूसरे राज्य में भेजे जाते थे, किसी पर्टिकुलर संदेश को लेकर के जाते थे, तो दैट पर्सन इज नोन एज इमेसरी, EMISSARY. So you find here the Duke is the speaker of the poem and it tells us, what does he tell? He tells us he is entertaining an emissary who has come to negotiate the Duke's marriage. This is another important question. That emissary, that envy, you will come to know कि वो जो है वो किसके साथ आया हुआ है? ही negotiating. Negotiating का मतलब होता है दो लोगों के बीच में बातचीत को या बातचीत negotiation. That negotiating, he is negotiating about what? Duke's marriage. ये चीज आपको ध्यान में रखना है। He has recently been widowed. Who is recently been widowed? The Duke has been recently been widowed. It means that Duke की जो पहली वाइफ है वो क्या है? Last Duchess. Duke का फेमिनिन क्या होगा? Duchess होगा. Duke is masculine. And what happened with his wife? His wife was generous. His wife was kind-hearted. His wife was liberal. And Duke does not like such means the character of his wife. This is why he gives a command to kill her, and she was killed. So you find. So here you came to know that the poem is ultimately what? It's based on a historical event, and this event is related to Alfonso or Alfonso Conte, Duke of Ferrara. You find here who lived in the 16th century. And in the poem, the Duke is the speaker. The poem is in dramatic monologue form. And here you find that Duke is entertaining. The Duke is just conversating with an emissary who has come with the proposal of the marriage. Who has come with the proposal of the marriage. And that the emissary or the envoy who has come with the proposal of the marriage uh, that came from the neighboring country. Neighboring country, he is the messenger, yeah, he is the envoy of another king. That king has sent the proposal for what? The proposal of the marriage of his daughter. So to the daughter of another powerful family. As he shows the visitor through his palace, वह उस विजिटर को जो मैसेंजर है उस मैसेंजर को क्या करता है? लेके जाता अपने पैलेस में। He stops before a portrait. He stops before a portrait. ये क्वेश्चन भी बन सकता है कि whose portrait? So he stops. The Duke stops with that messenger, with that envoy, with that emissary before a portrait, and that is the portrait of a Whose portrait is this? That is the portrait of a duchess, his last wife, duchess. You will come to know. He stops before a portrait of the last duchess, apparently a young and lovely girl, जो कि young और lovely है. The Duke begins reminiscing about the portrait session. Duke जो है उस portrait session के बारे में बात करता है. Then about the Duchess herself, तब Duchess के बारे में बात करता है. His musings give to a diatribe on her disgraceful behavior. This is a very significant. Who is the speaker? The speaker is only the Duke. And when Duke speaks, the emissary, the envoy, the messenger comes to know about his life. He was already married, but now he is a widowed Duke, and he tells about that picture as well as what? As well as Duchess. उस पिक्चर के बारे में भी बताता है और किसके बारे में? लेट डचेस के बारे में. Apparently a young and lovely girl. The Duke begins reminiscing about the portrait session, then about the Duchess herself. His musings give way to diatribe on her disgraceful behavior. और ये पता चलता है ड्यूक जो है क्या करता है अपनी वाइफ के disgraceful behavior के बारे में बताता है. Though the wife was not disgraceful, who was disgraceful? You will come to know. Duchess was not disgraceful. The Duke was disgraceful because Duchess was liberal, Duchess was kind-hearted, Duchess was generous, and this attribute of Duchess Duke doesn't lie. This is why he is using the word कि disgraceful behavior. Someone is writing. Why is slow आ रही है? Rakim is writing. क्या सबको स्लो आवाज जा रही है?
नो सर सही है.
क्लियर नहीं है.
क्लियर आवाज नहीं जा रही है?
नहीं सर.
Sir, actually little bit shivering or nothing. It's clear.
I think that there might be networking issue in your area because I am at the top of my roof and this is why I can't say that there is any networking issue in my area. There is a chance हो सकता है कि आपके एरिया में कुछ नेटवर्किंग इशू हो इस वजह से.
सर आपकी वॉइस आ रही है, बस हल्की सी शिवरिंग हो रही है, अदरवाइज हम लोग सुन ले रहे हैं.
अच्छा, हल्की सी आवाज में शिवरिंग है.
यस सर.
नाउ अब अभी भी
अब सर सबको हो रहा है या नहीं मुझे नहीं पता सर, मेरे साइड तो हो रहा.
और कोई बता सकता है?
मेरे यहाँ सही है सर, नो प्रॉब्लम.
और किसी क्या कोई और? चूंकि 8 लोग जोड़े, 8 में से रिस्पांस और मैं जानना चाहूंगा. Okay. So I was telling you what I was telling you. You find what key the Duke tells about. The Duke just begins a portrait, and what was the portrait? The Duke begins a portrait, and just tells about whom. The Duke begins reminiscing about the portrait session, though about the Duchess herself. His musing gives way to diatribe on her disgraceful behavior. I was telling you disgraceful behavior. So you find this point here, disgraceful behavior you find. He claims she flattered. This is a very strong point. He claims उसने ड्यूक ने क्या चार्ज लगाया अपनी वाइफ पर कि he claims she flirted with everyone. It's a common point to put question about the character of someone, especially lady, especially. So you find what here? You find here. I would like to discuss this point in regarding gender concept of gender, and you find what you find here. It's a common charge. And what is the common charge? The common charge is that that lady flirted with everyone and did not appreciate his gift of a 900 years old name. This is another significant point. And did not appreciate his gift of a 900 years old name. और साथ ही साथ उस ड्यूक ने दो ब्लेम लगाया। दो ब्लेम कौन सा लगाया, ये पॉइंट आपको नोट करके रखना है। सबसे पहला कि शी फ्लर्टेड विद एवरीवन, एक पहला चार्ज है अपनी वाइफ के ऊपर। दूसरा उसका क्या चार्ज है, दूसरा चार्ज ये है कि शी डिड नॉट अप्रिसिएट his gift of a 900 years old name। 900 years old name का जो गिफ्ट था, जो उस वुमेन को दिया गया था या उसने अपनी वाइफ को दिया था, उसको लेकर के उसने कोई बात नहीं किया, मतलब उसको अप्रिसिएट नहीं किया। 9 साल पुराना, 900 साल पुराना जो गिफ्ट एक तरह से जनरेशन टू जनरेशन उसकी फैमिली में चल रहा था कि कोई नई बहू आई तो उसको दे दिया गया, फिर कोई नई बहू आई तो उसको दे दिया गया। सो यू फाइंड दैट कि दीज आर द टू पॉइंट्स या दीज आर द टू चार्जेस विच यू फाइंड कि ये चार्ज इनके ऊपर लगाया जाता है इनकी तरफ से। As his monologue continues, the realizes with even more chilling certainty that the Duke in fact caused the Duchess' early demise. This is the point. Then we come to know कि Duchess' early demise, Duchess के मौत का कारण कौन है? There is no one but except Duke. Duke के अलावा कोई नहीं है। When her behavior escalated, he gave commands, then all smiles stopped. He gave command. Who gave command? Duke gave command to stop the smile of the Duchess. So all her smiles stopped. It means that she lost her life. Yes, she was murdered brutally. So in the poem, what do you find? In the poem, you find about a sinister duke, about a haughty duke, about a stubborn duke, about a narrow-minded duke who has what? Who has some negative phenomena, yeah, who has some negative ideas about his wife, and he has a doubt about the character of his wife because his wife was very liberal, very kind-hearted, very generous, and open-minded, welcomes everyone, and just seeing her behavior, he thinks that she is characterless and just tells about his late wife, about whom, about emissary। वह जो है क्या करता है, उस emissary, उस इनवाई को या उस मैसेंजर को जो कि नेबरिंग कंट्री के द्वारा भेजा गया है, उसके बारे में सब कुछ बताता है। सेकेंड पॉइंट आई वुड लाइक टू टेल यू, when you talk about the Duchess is just opposite to Duke. Duchess is kind-hearted, generous, benevolent, open-minded, and Duchess is such a type of character who ultimately you can say modern thought or modern ideology she has. And this thought is not liked by whom, this type of attribute behavior is not liked by Duke, and Duke gives a command to just stop all her smiles, and in this way all her smiles was stopped. Having made this disclosure, the Duke returns to the business at hand, arranging for another marriage. इतनी सारी बात बताने के बाद ड्यूक क्या करता, अपनी मैरिज को लेकर के बात करता है, फॉर अनदर मैरिज। तो ड्यूक इज नाउ इंटरेस्टेड फॉर व्हाट, फॉर अनदर मैरिज, but he says that, what does he says that? He says that if the young girl who is going to be my second wife, if she comes, she must know what am I, what type of my nature is. And here it's what, it's a warning। अगर देखा जाए तो यह वार्निंग है, किसको वार्निंग है? It's a warning of the coming girl, and he just says to emissary, yeah, he just says to envoy or messenger that just tell to the wife, no, just tell to the girl, yeah, just tell to the woman who is going to marry with me कि she must know about my nature, what I did with my late wife, yeah, what type of man I am, what I like and what I did not like. She must know, and she has to pass her life according to my views, according to my views, what I think, what I like. She has to go with my views, she does not has to impose her own views. So these things we find कि what the freedom has been given. A sinister, stubborn, you can say narrow-minded duke. Do you find any freedom? We come to know the Duchess has not been given any freedom, and what was the freedom she was availing, that freedom becomes the cause of her murder. So these things you find, and जाते जाते वो उसको ये भी दिखाता है कि यहाँ पे देखिए कि क्लास ऑफ इंसब्रक एक जो वो थे, आप कह सकते हैं कि ही वॉज नॉट अ पेंटर, क्लास ऑफ इंसब्रक एक आप कह सकते हैं कि आपको जो उसको ब्रॉन्ज का कुछ स्टेच्यू जैसा बना करके दिए थे, जिसमें वो दिखाया जा रहा था कि कैसे एक जेब्रा को नेपच्यून कंट्रोल करते, नेपच्यून ही गॉड मतलब सी गॉड है, एंड हाउ डज ही कंट्रोल. तो वो ये चीज कहता है कि एज zebra is tamed or controlled by force, by power, by nature, see God. In the same way, perhaps he wants to give the clue, perhaps he wants to give the message that I myself is capable, I myself is able to control any woman as zebra is controlled. So in this way you find. So I think you got the summary. किसी को अगर कोई problem है तो you can ask. I just told you about the duke. I just told you about his nature. I just told you what does he want. I just told you about the messenger. I just told you that the poem is written in heroic couplet. And what type of heroic couplet? Run on heroic couplet. You find. If you have any problem, let me know.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, please explain. Starting fourth line is entertaining and misery.
The fourth line, yeah. The Duke is the speaker of the poem and tells us he is entertaining and imagery. Entertaining means conversating, entertaining, he is entertaining a person. And who is that person? Emissary. Emissary means messenger. The messenger who came with the proposal of his marriage from the neighboring country. एक मैसेंजर आया हुआ है जो उसके शादी का प्रस्ताव लेकर के आया हुआ है, वो पड़ोस के राजा का दूत है या पड़ोस के राजा का मैसेंजर है. हु हैज
Okay,
कम
sir.
टू निगोशिएट, जो कि जो है जो कि निगोशिएट करता है ड्यूक से मैरिज को लेकर के. हु हैज कम टू निगोशिएट द ड्यूक्स मैरिज. चूंकि ड्यूक की वाइफ अब मर गई है, उसने अपनी वाइफ का मर्डर करा दिया, तो सेकंड मैरिज का एक प्रपोजल लेकर के आ गई.
Okay, sir.
एनीवन
Thank you.
एनीवन किसी को कहीं पे कोई प्रॉब्लम हो रही है? या नाउ जस्ट क्लोजिंग दिस एंड शेयरिंग यू एन अदर इमेज, and you will be able to come to know what are the points you have to remember. Here you find another image. You find about the form of the poem. Poem का form क्या है? Yeah, just I want to know one thing कि as I share images, is it helpful? Yeah, should I only deliver lecture just coming live?
No, sir, it's helpful.
Okay, it's helpful because in the very beginning of the class, I just tell you ki, what I'm going to teach you, what the poem I have taken, and in if you have the study material and that study material is shared, it's visible and I explain, then you are in position to understand it very well. And here you find my last duchess comprises rhyming pentameter lines. What lines? Pentameter lines. When I talk about pentameter, it means that that might be what? That might be, you can say, pentameter. If there is a iambic pentameter, then a 5 feet syllable, but he is not saying ki iambic pentameter, any pentameter. But pentameter means unstressed syllable is followed by stressed one. What do you mean by penta? Unstressed syllable is followed by stressed one. So my last duchess comprises rhyming pentameter lines. The lines do not imply end stop. इसलिए end stop नहीं है. What do you mean by end stop? Rather they use enjambment. ये 3 क्वेश्चन बनेगा. पोयम कौन से मीटर में है? पेंटामीटर लाइन्स है, वो भी राइमिंग में, क्योंकि अगर हीरोइक कपलेट में लिखी गई तो हीरोइक कपलेट राइम करेगा, लेकिन राइमिंग में कौन सा? पेंटामीटर है। अब पेंटामीटर में वो क्या हो सकता है? कुछ लाइनें आयाम्बिक में भी हो सकती है, कुछ लाइनें आपका जो है आप कह सकते हैं डाई मीटर, मीटर, ट्राई मीटर, हेक्सा पेंटामीटर भी हो सकता है। हाँ, so you find these things. But I would like to tell you, when you talk about these lines कि My Last Duchess comprises rhyme pentameter lines. इसमें क्या है? Rhyming pentameter lines है. The lines do not imply end stop. What do you mean by end stop? End stop means कि full stop. Full stop means what does here? कि often you find that कि in heroic couplet, often you find that if there is a closed heroic couplet, in closed heroic couplet, you find full stop after two lines, and that gives you the complete sense. तो यहाँ पे end stop नहीं है. End stop का मतलब ऐसा नहीं कि दो लाइन के बाद full stop है और वहीं पे सेंस खत्म हो जा रहा है. No, not at all. Rather they use enjambment, बल्कि वे किसका यूज करते हैं? enjambment का यूज करते हैं. enjambment, striding over. What do you mean by striding over? Striding over means simply, that to complete the sense you need more than two lines. That is what run on heroic couplet. इंजाम्बी में एक 2005 के पीजीटी में पूछा जा चुका है कि what do you mean by इंजाम्बीमेंट? इंजाम्बीमेंट is a French word and it means striding over. It means also कि it has the sense of heroic couplet. Yeah, we have to stop here for some time because एक गाड़ी पास हो रही है तो उसकी आवाज और ज्यादा जा रही है. So you find that you find enjambment. Enjambment का मैंने मतलब क्या बताया है? Striding, STRIDING, striding over. That is, sentences and other grammatical units do not necessarily conclude at the end of the lines. कोई भी conclusion lines के last में नहीं मिलता है, बल्कि ये क्या करता है? It takes more than टू लाइन्स, या तो चार लाइन में या छह लाइन में या आठ लाइन में सेंस कंप्लीट होगा. तो इस तरह का चीजें हैं. Consequently, the rhymes do not create a sense of closure when they come, but rather remain a certain driving force behind the Duke's compulsive revelation. और जो आपका राइमिंग है उसमें भी कोई ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई चीजें कंक्लूडिंग आपको लगेगा. ऐसा नहीं कि उस जहाँ पे राइमिंग हो रहा है वहां पे चीजें कंप्लीट हो जा रही. नो, नॉट एट ऑल. द ड्यूक इज क्वाइट अ परफॉर्मर. He mimics others' voices, creates a hypothetical situation, and uses the force of his personality to make horrifying information seem merely colorful. ये point important है because you come to know about Duke. Duke's compulsive revelation. The Duke is quite a performer. Performer कौन है? वो Duke. The Duke is quite a performer. He mimics others' voices, creates a hypothetical situation, and uses the force of his personality to make horrifying information. What information? Horrifying. डरावने वाली बातें करता है. Seem merely colorful indeed. The poem provides a classic example of a dramatic monologue. Poem किसका example है? It's an example of a dramatic monologue.
सर वॉइस नहीं आ रही है.
So are you getting my voice?
Yes, right now.
Okay, okay, that's good. So you find that it's an example of what? It's an example of dramatic monologue. The speaker is clearly distinct from the poet. An audience is suggested but never appears in the poem. कह रहे हैं कि जो स्पीकर है वह बिल्कुल अलग है और वह कौन है? स्पीकर पोएट नहीं है. द स्पीकर इज क्लियरली डिस्टिंक्ट फ्रॉम द पोएट. ऑलरेडी वी नो की ड्रामेटिक मोनोलॉग में स्पीकर पोएट नहीं होता, कोई थर्ड पर्सन होता. हु इज द स्पीकर? द ड्यूक इज द स्पीकर. एंड ऑडियंस इज सजेस्टेड. कुछ आइडियल्स भी वहां पे नजर आते हैं, बट नेवर अपीयर्स इन द पोयम, एंड द रिविलेशन ऑफ द ड्यूक्स कैरेक्टर इज द पोयम्स प्राइमरी एम। ये लाइन एकदम रट लीजिएगा, चाहे कहीं पे इंटरव्यू देने जाइएगा, चाहे कुछ भी। व्हाट इज द एम ऑफ द पोयम? द एम ऑफ द पोयम इज ओनली एंड ओनली द रिविलेशन ऑफ द ड्यूक्स कैरेक्टर, कि ड्यूक का चरित्र क्या है उसका खुलासा करना ही पोयम का क्या है, ऑब्जेक्टिव है, उसका उद्देश्य है। सो अगेन आई टेल यू, व्हेन यू कम टू नो अबाउट द ड्यूक, तो ड्यूक के बारे में आपको क्या क्या पता चलता है, आप ऐसे ही अपनी लैंग्वेज में बताइए। व्हाट डू यू नो अबाउट ड्यूक? व्हाट टाइप ऑफ मैन ही इज या ही वाज? या what type of man he is, या what type of man he was? What you have to remember, always remember, he was a greedy man, चालाक आदमी है। दूसरा पॉइंट क्या है, क्या आपको ध्यान में रखना है, ही वॉज सिनिस्टर, सिनिस्टर माने जिद्दी, SINISTER। he was a stubborn duke, STUBBORN। stubborn का मतलब भी होता है जो घमंडी हो। So he was a haughty duke, he was a stubborn duke, he was a sinister duke, he was a duke who ultimately you can say narrow-minded person, not open-minded, but narrow-minded person, because he does not like the liberal nature of his duchess and gives approve to stop her smiles. So this is the nature, and you find that he is a person who doesn't like the freedom of women. A traditional a traditional person of the middle age, जो middle age का, because the people of the middle age don't believe that women should be given freedom, and they all just have doubt about the characters of women. So it shows that he is a man who believes in masculinity, जो कि मास्कुलिटी में विश्वास करता है, पैट्रियार्की का उसका नजरिया है। पुरुष समाज की जो सत्ता होती है वही है कि उसमें औरत को वो अधिकार नहीं दिया जाना चाहिए, या वीमेन आर ओनली पपेट इन द हैंड ऑफ मेन। इस तरह का नजरिया लिया हुआ वह आदमी है। तो यही आप उसके बारे में जानते हैं। किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पर है? और एक क्वेश्चन जरूर ध्यान में रखिएगा कि पोयम रन ऑन हीरोइक कपलेट में लिखा गया है, उसी रन ऑन हीरोइक कपलेट को इंजाम्बीमेंट कहा गया। इंजाम्बीमेंट इज अ फ्रेंच वर्ड, इसका मतलब होता है स्ट्राइडिंग ओवर। स्ट्राइडिंग ओवर का मतलब इसका जो सेंस है वह दो लाइन में ना निकल करके और लाइनों में वो स्ट्राइड कर रहा है, जस्ट पासिंग। डिड यू कम टू नो या आई हैव टू एक्सप्लेन सम मोर पॉइंट? किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम, या शुड आई शेयर अनदर इमेज? मैं अगला पॉइंट शेयर करूँ आपके साथ?
नो सर।
ओके, दैट्स गुड। आपको ये सारे पॉइंट नोट करने हैं, ये चीज ध्यान में रखना है। जो मैं इमेज यहाँ पे आपको दिखा रहा हूँ, यू हैव टू नोट डाउन इन योर कॉपी, क्योंकि अगला टेस्ट मैं आपका इसी पे कंडक्ट कराऊंगा एज आई कंप्लीट द पोएम। सो जस्ट शेयरिंग विद यू अनदर इमेज। फाइन, here you find what Browning thinks. Browning has simply creating a colorful character and placing him in a picturesque historical scene. Rather, the specific historical setting of the poem harbors much significance. The Italian Renaissance. Duke was you can say कि Duke was a man of the 16th century, but to which country he belongs? The Italian Renaissance. ड्यूक का क्या नाम है? व्हाट वाज द नेम ऑफ द ड्यूक?
Alfonso.
Alfonso. And which country he belongs?
Ferrara.
Sir, Duke of Ferrara.
He belongs to Italy and he was the Duke of Ferrara. Ferrara is not the name of a country. It is the name of a state. ड्यूक का मतलब आज के राज्यपाल जैसे, गवर्नर। तो द इटालियन ड्यूक वो 16th सेंचुरी का है, लेकिन इटालियन ड्यूक है। Held a particular fascination for Browning and his contemporaries, for it represents the flowering of the aesthetic and the human alongside, or in some cases in the place of the religious and moral. Thus the temporal settings allow Browning to again explore sex, violence and aesthetics. इसमें जो सब्जेक्ट मैटर है उन्होंने क्या चीज वो किया हुआ है, सेक्स, वायलेंस एंड एस्थेटिक्स एज आर इंटेंजल्ड, complicating and confusing each other. The lushness of the language belies the fact that the Duchess was punished for her natural sexuality. It's a very, very important point. Why the Duchess was punished? The Duchess was punished for her natural sexuality. It's another important point. And what was her natural sexuality? Her natural sexuality was that she was liberal, she was compassionate, she was kind hearted, she was a generous lady, she has love, she has affection, she has the concept of equality. These things you find, these things you find. This is why. And she welcomes everyone, she gives her smiles to everyone, and this was not liked by whom? This was not liked by Duke. And Duke doesn't like the manner of Duchess, and this is why Duke gives a command to his subordinate to stop all the smiles, to stop all the smiles, because she gives her smiles to everyone. He gives a command to stop all the smiles of Duchess. It means that to kill the Duchess. If the Duchess is killed, she will not give her smile to anyone. So you find that कि यहाँ पे वायलेंस भी दिखाया गया है, और ये कहीं ना कहीं किसका हिस्सा है? डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस का हिस्सा है। एंड इन डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस यू फाइंड दैट कि ही वाज व्हाट, he murdered his wife, and he not only you can say beat, he didn't beat, but he murdered her brutally. Yeah, he gave command to his subordinate to murder her. That is the point. So here you come to know about a person who has high status, who has higher rank, a person who is you can say who a person who is in uh, if I use the word one who is the governor of the state, Duke of Ferrara, Alfonso, Italian Renaissance, 16th century का, अगर उसकी सोच ऐसी है तो क्या? And when you come to know about this man, when you come to know about Duke, you ultimately find that the Duke presents what? Duke presents a particular ideology, a particular thought that is known as patriarchy, मेल ओरिएंटेड सोसाइटी, कि ओनली मेल इज द डिसीजन मेकर। केवल सारा जो न्याय करेगा या जो डिसीजन करेगा वो कौन करेगा? मेल करेगा, पुरुष करेगा, औरत को कोई अधिकार नहीं होगा। उस समाज की या उस आइडियोलॉजी को वो प्रेजेंट करता है। तो दैट इज अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट की जो यहाँ पे उन्होंने दिखाया है। एक नया सब्जेक्ट मैटर मुझे मेरी अपनी नजर में है। So you find the Duke's raving suggests the most of the supported transgressions took place only in his mind. कितना सारा उसके दिमाग में हिंसा या जेंडर बाइस्ड आदमी वो है, वो सब चीजें उसके दिमाग में चलती रहती है। Like some of Browning's fellow Victorian, the Duke seems still lurking in every corner. The reason the speaker here gives for killing the Duchess, the speaker here gives for killing the Duchess ostensibly differs from that given by the speaker Porphyria's lover. This is not a point for murder Porphyria. This is another character. However, both women are nevertheless victims of a male desire. So you find that कि इसमें जो है जो एक डिजायर है मेल का, मेल विक्टिम का, उसका वे जो है शिकार होती है। और उसका डिजायर क्या होता है कि wife should be like this, wife should be like that. These things you find. These things you find. So just to closing it here, and uh, and you find it here. That is a very strong point. Yeah. Me after 3 minutes. Join me after 3 minutes.